All right, it is now 22 minutes to 7 o'clock right here on Morning Express. It's time for the Dawn Debate. And this morning, we have none other than Esther Passaris with us in studio. And Michelle Ngele is going to be driving this conversation. Just a quick reminder that you're welcome to participate. The Twitter handles are going to be showing on your screen as we continue with this particular debate. It is, 69 days, I believe, before we go to the polls. And that's why we'd like you to talk to your legislators and those who are going to be your leaders. So I'll hand over to you, Michelle.
Absolutely, and like you mentioned, aspiring women representative Esther Passaris here in studio. And remember, she did win the nominations on an ODM ticket, going there head-to-head with the incumbent Rachel Shebesh. Many thanks for joining us on the Dawn Debate. So, of course, 69 days to the elections, official campaign period began on Sunday. And the first question on the minds of Kenyans is, what is your plan for Nairobi County?
Well, first of all, a lot of people do not understand that the woman rep position is basically legislative. It's like any other MP elected. We have an affirmative budget to be able to reach out to vulnerable groups, women and children being the focus. So it's about laws. I think the most important thing is to educate people, sensitize them about the law, and to get the institutions that are supposed to implement the law to serve women.
Right, and of course the bigger perception has been that our political candidates are not in touch with the reality on the ground. When you were declared winner after the nomination process, you said you wanted to not focus on the pay, but work hard to solve or at least address the problems that Nairobians face. What problems are these?
Okay, it wasn't about the pay. It wasn't about the pay, and I think the media misquoted this. It's about the budget that the woman representative is given. The government, after 2 years of debates, basically the parliament passed 2 billion shillings for the Women Affirmative Action Fund. So you've got a woman campaigning in the entire county. The MP gets a CDF fund of maybe 200 million approximately for his constituency. The woman rep for the entire county for Nairobi gets about 130 million. So it's 7 million shillings per constituency. That's so little to have visible impact on the ground or to be felt. So I said I wasn't going to concentrate on the money given by the government. I'm going to push for more money from the government so we can do more things for the women in terms of affirmative action. But also, I'm going to try and pull resources from Kenyans themselves because we have to own our problems. We have to be part of the solution. And the way I look at government right now, highly in debt, with other priorities, how do I impact the woman who has voted for me and she wants a job for her son, she wants a better trading place, she wants a better accommodation, water in her house. They look at the leaders and they want all that. So I have to find a constructive way to deliver these services.
All right, absolutely. And the bigger question then would be, how would you get this from the Kenyans? Like you mentioned, the government is in a lot of debt and pushing for more money may not be viable as soon as possible. So your plan is strategically to ensure that you get more money in this project.
Okay. A few years ago, I came up with an idea because when I went into Kibera and all the other informal settlements to light them up, I realized how much poverty bites. So I came up with this idea of 1 in a million. Unfortunately, I was with the opposition and the government refused to register the trust or the foundation. So right now, I'm going to come up with a way to make it a business, all right? Pull Kenyans together, and instead of just giving a donation, it's actually a business in the sense that we maximize on benefit, minimize on profit, and deliver services.
Right. Yeah. And of course, we're expecting Rachel Shebesh here, who is the incumbent women representative for Nairobi County on the Jubilee ticket, but she was not able to make it this morning. But then the question would be, Rachel Shebesh, you're actually quite close. She was in hospital and you won the hearts of many Nairobians after you visited her there. Many expected quite some rivalry. But what will you do different that Rachel Shebesh has not?
Okay, I mean, for me, I'm a businesswoman. I lit up Nairobi before I even got into legislative position. And for me, I think being a businesswoman, I try and find solutions. I'm a social entrepreneur. So you do business and you solve a problem. So I will create unity amongst Kenyans to actually provide services, make a little profit, but we provide those services. Yeah, so in terms of housing, garbage collection, and I'll also be a bridge between the people and the various institutions, like Nairobi County, for instance. I will make sure that we are able to get the services. I always say that this woman rep position and a youth rep and a vulnerable citizen county positions should have actually been incorporated in the county.
Right.
Yeah, but it's in Parliament because of, again, gender balance.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the importance of going down to the grassroots and actually identifying with the people on the ground, because they refer you as Mama Ta, because, you know, that's what people most remember when they think about you. And there's been a lot of response about you really being in touch with the grassroots. Talk to us about the importance of that for a leader of this caliber.
Okay, the thing is, I think people need to feel you. And for me, my calling, I've always felt my calling was to work with the poor people and to uplift their lives. I don't think God wanted poverty for anyone. Poverty is because of poor leadership, all right? And the reason they connect with me is because I go in there and I'm genuine, all right? I went in there the first time and I saw so many problems. Even when there were fires in various slums, I would go take my batis. If you want school fees, I can do it. But privately, it's limited. The need is so high. And I don't want us to be a country where we are begging. Our politics has been about making our people poor and then going in there just before campaigns and throwing out a little money. It's so difficult. Every single day I get about 30 or 40 texts. We want fees, we want medical, we want to bury our dead, we want food, we want jobs, we want to pay our rent. The needs are real. And you can't help everyone. So for me, I don't want to create dependency. I want to create interdependency, and then after interdependency, go to independence, where you actually you have the pride of being able to look after your own family. We need jobs in Kenya.
Right.
How do we create the jobs? I've got ideas that can create jobs. I always say we import umbrellas, 2 million umbrellas every year. Why not create a factory where women tailor these umbrellas, we buy the metal shaft, and we even get the juakali to make the wood. We do the prints in Kenyan prints. We can do so much. We don't need to import everything.
Right.
I think the relationship with China or India is great, but we should employ Kenyans.
Ourselves, absolutely. And of course, you've spoken a lot about women and children, but let's explore further the role of a woman representative, because this is a position of a woman representative and not a women's representative. Who is a woman representative representing? The bigger perception is that this is a representative for the women.
Okay, it's a women representative, okay? Seat. I mean, there's been this debate on what it is. Basically, the women representative seat is to create gender balance, to have a constitutional right.
But is it a representative of the women or a woman who is representing the county?
I think it's supposed to be a woman representing the county, all right? But it's not very clear. For me, it's a legislator. Once you get in there, you're there by virtue of the fact that you're a woman. In fact, the other day there was a debate. Can a man run for the woman representative position?
Right.
The law is not very clear, and nobody's tested the water there. But I think the whole idea was to create not more than 2/3 of one gender, because the political parties were not able to actually empower women to run for the positions.
And that being said, of course, like we mentioned earlier, we had Taita Taveta Women Rep Joyce Lay now urging the next parliament to ensure that they implement the 2/3 gender rule. Talk to us about probably what you will be doing, pushing, to championing to see that actually implemented.
You see, the thing is, we've seen that the men are not willing to let the women come in through the political parties. They're not willing. So as long as we don't have enough elected women, we will have to do it this way, where you have 47 seats created specifically to make sure that we get the gender balance. All right? So for me, it's the problem with our men. But also our voters have a duty. If our voters will actually give the woman the chance. So I keep saying that where you have a woman, give her a chance. But look at right now, we have women running as governors. All right? In the last election, we had only 2 women deputy governors. I hope that they will embrace the woman as well. Like in Kirinyaga, you've got 2 women in the seat. You've got Charity Ngilu as well. You've got Laboso. So if we can get women governors and they prove that they can do a better job, then I think we will be able to elect more women. And even in parliament, MCAs. Look at ODM, for instance. From the elected positions, 85 positions, we only had about 3 or 4 women come in. So it's a problem, not just in terms of women coming forward and wanting to run for these positions, but also in terms of the electorate voting the women, and the men play rough. And they play tough.
All right, and before we continue with this conversation, let's have Michael bring in Brian Obuya, who is usually our eye in the night, bringing us